Okay. So we only have so much time to teach today, right? There's only so much you can do. But there's certain pathways in the octopus guard in which I think they're like separate choices for sure, okay? And first and foremost, we have side control, okay? So we have, and I'm not just showing all the perfect techniques or what you're gonna show, I'm gonna just show like an overview, okay? So I'm getting past this crossface. This is the most important thing that we'll have to defeat today, and we'll explain a lot of that in the beginning in a second. But I'm pulling my base from side control up to this position here, right? Now, I know that octopus guard is talked a lot about right here, in this particular spot here in half guard, but also if I go to my knees, you realize that me and Max are in the same position. In wrestling, this is called cat and dog, okay? If we're facing the same direction, we call that dog fight, right? This is cat and dog in wrestling. And being able to take your knees in and take people's backs and stuff like that from here is a 50-50 battle right now for me and Max, right? Like we're both in the same position. If you're a teacher, I would suggest starting class like this sometimes from this position. You know, so there's these kinds of things where I try and come around the corner, obviously, and take his back. And there's just taking his back like that from half guard, right? Like, so if I were to get here from half guard and I were to start to move, I have a few different choices here. It's either gonna be a butterfly hook, right? It's gonna be nothing, right? Or you can start to have this Lucas Lake style coyote half guard, Casoto hook, whatever you guys like to call it, right? So you have those choices. But when I'm involved into this one, I'm not easily sneaking out to the back as much. It's starting to turn his hip. Does a few different things. I have no elevators. This one has a total elevator game, obviously, right? And you get all the fancy back takes like this and stuff like that get involved in that, right? So I've got like a bump sweep version. Doesn't matter if you're in half guard or if you're in the side control version, right? There's all these bump sweep versions that I can get into, and I'm doing like a rollover. So I feel like there's those paths right there. Choosing to hook the foot is not the same as trying to be mobile and take the back. You know, there's also one more, like me and Max were talking about earlier, half guard. When Max can reach inside or over inside this way, there's like that way as well too, right? So there's several different versions of him reaching over that way, but it's like, am I gonna roll him? Am I gonna wrestle up to my, one more? Am I gonna wrestle up, right? Or am I going to lift him, take him down? There's many different versions so I can lift his legs as well too as I start to build my base. So I have like a leg lifting version. I have the rock and roll, rocking the boat, like bump sweep him over one way, roll him, and then I have torquing his hip, right? And I feel like that those are three different choices, right? And so me personally, I'm not gonna say do this one or do that one, but we're gonna go over that's like an overview of a lot of octopus, okay? But there's also closed guard. There's also different stuff in side control. But the main thing here, when I was coming here with Max, I was like, look, we gotta take care of these guys. These guys are my affiliates. The most important thing is blocking the crossface. If you don't learn anything today from octopus guard and all you learn is how to block the crossface, you will not let people be grabbing your head. You won't get punched in a street fight or MMA, right? So the most important part and the first part of octopus is the hand fight, okay? So I want to talk about that first because that's the most important. You have to be a ninja with that because if you can't block the arm and get underneath the arm, you ain't ever going to get to that position. The only way that you can ever get to that position voluntarily is like if we're in half guard and then Max does a turning in version of a pass. And so now we're here like this, right? So I can get there by Max doing a turning in pass as well instead of me just diving my arm in. But that's like the only place in which he's doing it to me, really. We're both doing it to each other. So all the other ones, I must block the crossface. I can't stress that enough, right? So there's a couple different versions that I want you to get to, okay? So if I'm blocking his arm right here, I have two fingers like this in his armpit, and this elbow's like in his neck, and this arm is across his tricep, and my elbow's like blocking his forearm. Like to me, this is the most important thing. It doesn't matter if I'm in half guard right? It does, like, you can have shin shield, knee block, blah, blah, blah. All this left leg stuff can be a million different things, but this is the most important. This is the one he's gonna hit me with. This is the one he's gonna grab my head with, right? If he goes to hit me with that one, well, he gives up the underhook and I'm playing dogfight stuff, right? So I need to get underneath this cross side. So again, I'm pulling his tricep so I could like roll his shoulder almost like he feels like he's getting omoplated, right? But I can also counterbalance that with my forearm. So I'm like push pulling like this, right? Like I have two grips almost on his body, two connections. And then this one is not down here at the wrist yet, it's up here. It's gonna depend if his arm's over, if he's trying to come under, right? It depends on if he's trying to really grab my head or if he's chilling. So first I wanna block like this. That's the most important part. You can push, pull, that's super important, all right? There's other variations where I can have my hand X'd up, right? You can have variations of your hands being X'd so that there's no like space for him to come in. So if he were to grab my head, this is an easy deflection to try and get underneath and shoot out and get underneath over here, right? Also, if I had a Kimura, if I were to grab this Kimura, I really don't like to bend it. Yes, I can attack the Kimura. I'm just talking about Octopus today. I actually like to straighten it. So I'm like faking a straightened arm almost. And as I get here, then I'm able to rotate. And I'm still holding it. I'm pulling that elbow so I can control his body again like that. And I'm building my base up. And I start to come up. This doesn't have anything to do with butterfly hooks yet or hooking his ankle. But this is the base that I'm building to with my right hand. Is pushing on this knee and I'm on my elbow. You can be like this as well too. But the first spot I like to get to is here. Okay? This is one of my favorite. I don't like to be all crunched up like this with my body on his side. I like to have a little bit of space and I'm pushing his knee. So if Max tries to come close to me, he takes up the space, you see? He goes here, now he tries to come close, now he's stuck at that distance. I'm a super tall guy, so I can't just pull my legs out and stuff, you know? Alright, so I gotta be able to, I want you guys to come out to this position. Alright? It's like, I tell people with their forearms, right? With a forearm frame like that. Yes, so I can get all the way wrapped up in his hands, but it's a forearm frame. That's how I'm thinking of it. All right, so again, he's got side control. I'm over here like this, blocking his head and his throat with my forearm. I start to go underneath, I pass underneath, and then I'm building my base up like this. And then if I can, I'm gonna build my base and touches me. Let's talk about this hand now. This hand's grabbing at his lap, and it's pulling his face to the ground so that he puts his hands on the mat. If he does nothing, can you get a near side underhook on me? He'll flatten me out, right? We can shoot arm triangles, right? Pull your arm out, arm triangle. Yeah, shoot on my neck, yeah. All that stuff starts to happen, right? So I don't want any of that to happen. And so I'm pulling him onto his face, just naturally. You guys can't see that. That's what my pressure is doing. So that I can start to move and he can't. All right? So in the beginning, we're just gonna do